Well, that didn't take very long. Here we are on Wednesday, just a day after the Fed chairman's speech, an informal speech, not a speech associated with the Fed meeting. That was several days ago. In fact, given what happened today, in light of what happened today, I will compare it to what happened back then, because it's about the same. Bottom line is the market was way down today. So it's a very comparable situation to what happened at the Fed meeting several days ago and the day after coming out of it. Okay, what happened back then was the Fed talked in schmaltzy terms again by the end of the session. The Wall Street traders responded very favorably to that. Up the market went, big blast up. See how that went? You know, the response was at the time, see how it goes? The very next day it came all the way back down again, and then some. That was just several days ago. It did the exact same thing this time, just as dramatically. In fact, today there was basically no significant up bounce along the way during the day. It was pretty relentless downtrend all the way. Started by gapping down quite a bit this morning and just kept going from there. I talked about those major support levels that the traders were trying to hold in the markets. They lost them midday today, sliced right through them to the downside. Spent the rest of the afternoon fighting not to go any lower and failing. It went quite a bit lower. The market closed basically at bottom tick today and was well below those support levels by the time it closed. The more important consideration in the slightly bigger picture is that I've talked in the past about that major support zone, especially that formed in the Dow for quite a number of months, that was initially violated when the Ukraine invasion started. Okay, down the market went. As I said at the time, normally one of two things happens. In the more rare case, it just keeps going from there, more down. That definitely did not happen this time, okay? The more typical case is where it comes back up, kisses the underside of the support zone, you know, coming up from underneath one more time, and then starts going down more. That also didn't happen this time, okay? What happened this time was the extremely rare case, not exactly a surprise in a law against recessions environment, which has existed in the United States since the late 1970s, and ever increasingly so in the meantime. This time around, as noted, the market went up there, punched through support level, and went back above it. Significantly so. Okay, once it does that, there's no telling ahead of time how long it's going to stay up there. The important point here and now is that the market went back below that support level in the meantime, okay? Now went to a major support level below that, tried to hang on to that, bounced off of that a couple of times, and as of the close today, is not only well below that support level, it is below all previous lows, previous recent lows I should say, that's what I meant to say, previous recent lows. The corrective looking up move of the last several days was wiped out in just one day's worth of impulsive move to the downside today, very clearly so, and in fact the market went down so much that it went below the previous low yet too. So it's now lower than it's been in quite a while. Bearing in mind that what happened was, once that big down day happened right after the actual Fed meeting several days ago, the market kept going down overall. So by the time yesterday's bounce happened in response to a Fed speech, the market was already a lot lower than it was back then. So now that the market has rolled over the very next day again, today, and gone down a fair amount more than it went up yesterday, in other words, it is at new lows again, that means it is at new lows for the entire move. Okay? So the market is at major new intermediate lows for now. And it looks like, at least for the time being, minimum, that will continue. Okay? So, the bottom line is, it is It was a very meek market today. It is, as of the close today, a very weak market, okay? And that is likely to continue for the time being. In other words, lately things are happening even faster to the downside ultimately than even I expected them to, okay? So that's part of the reason I'm doing these videos, to make people aware of that, okay? Quick note about European markets. They were down 2 today. I'll use the German market again as a reference point. The German market is the strongest market in continental Europe. We'll see how long that still lasts. I suspect it's not going to last very long. I doubt it will. Okay, but they have been trying to hang on to 14,000. Went below it a couple of times here recently. Got it back up to it and then above it. We're above it again. We're above it again during their trading day today. Until, well, they actually did technically stay above it the whole day. I'll make my point about that in just a moment. They then started coming down hard again when the American market opened, okay, because the American market was already way down this morning, as I noted. Okay, that dragged the European markets down with it too. Okay, and in the end, when the German market closed, it was just barely above 14,000. As I noted, the American market kept going down from there. It was going down all day long during American trading, okay, which lasts for hours after the European markets close, okay. So the bottom line is that now that the market has such a big, the American market has had such a big down day again, in all likelihood, the Asian markets, and in particular the European markets, will probably react very negatively to that during their trading days tomorrow. The Asian trading day tomorrow starts tonight, United States time. The European market starts early morning hours tomorrow morning, United States time. Okay, and so in all likelihood tomorrow the German market will get dragged well below 14,000, and I suspect it'll keep going down from there. Germany in general is very seriously in trouble right now because of very high, in the meantime, and still rapidly rising fuel costs for all the different fuels, okay? Natural gas, gasoline, electricity, you name it, it's all going up like crazy. Okay, and because food prices are also going way up, both because of the transport costs associated with the energy and because the food prices themselves are going up. Okay, so Germany is fighting a really big problem right now, and I suspect that will not go well in the near-term future over there, and the consequence of that will probably feed through in America as well. Okay, so right now the market is at a critical point, and I expect that it will continue to go down from here. We will see what happens tomorrow. You know, most likely I will do a video again tomorrow already to confirm that, or confirm that it didn't happen, but most likely I'll be confirming that it did happen. Of course, I will confirm exactly what did happen. I'm not going to say something that didn't happen. Okay, but the point is I fully expected to do that tomorrow, and if it does, I'll do another video confirming that. So anyway, bottom line is downtrend is well established. It is becoming more and more established all the time. More very concretely and solidly established. It's basically accelerating down in the meantime. So we'll see whether they can hang on to it this time. I suspect that's not likely, or whether it'll start accelerating down even more. I suspect that's the more likely case for now. Okay, we'll see how quickly things get there. I do expect a fair amount more big trouble down the road, and at the rate it's going, it's going to be sooner rather than later. So we'll see how quickly we get there. I will keep an eye on it and keep posting accordingly. Anyway, enough for now. We'll see what happens tomorrow and Friday and go from there. But today was not a good day. Not at all.